Hello, everybody. Seneca here, and welcome to What Remains of Edith Finch. My wife and I are in agreement that this is probably the best game we have ever played. And we played it back when it first came out, roundabouts, and I never had a computer that could run it as well as it, deserved. So, I thought I'd go back and relive how good this game really was. So here we go. We play as Edith.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Let her tell the story. Look at that.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
This game is a masterclass in creating a storytelling environment and delivering the stories themselves. Because essentially, it's just a collection of short stories. They all have the same common thread. They're all about this family, but you'll understand more about it later, but they're all tied together with the idea of a family tree. But we'll get there. It's very good at explaining itself as well.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
I have to admit, they made this just... it gives me goosebumps just playing it. Again.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
I don't know if there's multiple paths or not. I don't really remember there being that way, but...
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
It's profound, damn it. Her? Nope, that's just me seeing a tree for a tree. Missing Milton Finch. I'll come in handy later too. But
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
That's the Finch house. And there were multiple paths to walk it.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband.
And
As
yeah,
a
okay,
child,
there are multiple
the
paths.
house
I remember
made
now.
me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Oh, what was that?
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Different ways to use salmon. Nope, that's a recipe for apple pie, looks like.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
It's still out there, at least partially. If I'm not mistaken. Which is an interesting little tidbit.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
And she definitely didn't imagine it. You know, old woman was the one that lived the longest in this house. If you look at this, anyway. Yeah, 1917 to 2010. Almost 100 years. 93.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Oh, it's just...
After Milton disappeared,
It's interesting.
Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Well, tiny scream... What do they call her? I mean, I'm pretty sure she's like a scream princess. It's not, but... That might as well be what it is, essentially.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Hey.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Well, not quite. We're going to look at the house a little bit more. Because you got to take it all in when you're playing this game. Edie and Sven.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait. As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Yeah.
My grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left.
I'm gonna go see if that's everything. If it is, we'll keep on going. There's a library. Come from in there. Yeah, there's nothing else to go for. Okay. So to the secret passage as we go. And to the story we will tell. You don't think any of this is consequential right now, but everything in this has purpose. That's the beauty of it.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Molly's room?
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Be proud of that. Fish would have been like my second choice. But yeah, now you're playing as the kid.
I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night.
That was your elder, or not elder bird. I forget what they're fucking called. Mistletoe? It's not. Is it mistletoe?
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
But mistletoe is highly poisonous.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off.
Childlike
to find
wonder.
something bigger.
And I'm pretty sure they also cause hallucinations, which really didn't help.
A mama rabbit.
Got
He
you.
was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Where the hell did it go?
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. to stop, but also I didn't. Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Winds up right back in her old room.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
But with that right there, I'm going to put a pin in it and call that the end for now. Hope y'all are enjoying this. It brings back memories. It was a good time. Pretty sure we actually had James play this back when it was Trace Vendeos Gaming, so that says a lot. I don't even know if we posted it, but one of these days I might be able to get it. But until then, thank y'all for watching. See you next time.